you for another live stream, another video, all of that good stuff that we do every single week, every single weekend. This is a little bit delayed from where I normally go with this live stream. Normally, I do it on Saturdays at 7:30, but today I was a little bit delayed. I was watching the acceptance speech that Joe Biden gave, hence why I'm maybe a little bit more excited. Sound a little bit more excited than maybe I have in past weeks. But I am happy to be live with you now. And, um, coincidentally, this is, a little bit more of a happy live stream, and is titled "The Cure." And I wrote this album kind of as an answer to my previous week's live stream, which was called "The Curse." And like I said, this was the title was inspired by the Josh Ritter song called "The Curse," and there's a song that says, or the line in the song, I should say, that says, "She asked, are you cursed? He said, I think that I'm cured." And as a result of that, I kind of decided to subtitle it with those Josh Ritter references in there. But then the regular title, I guess, is called "Everything That Dies." And of course, that comes from the Springsteen album, "Everything That Dies One Day Comes Back." And that's kind of the theme of tonight, of today, with Biden getting elected. And that you just kind of thought, all right, part of our identity died or was magnified, depending on your perspective, and now we're getting that back. So this is a really appropriate live stream for tonight. And I was just talking about a relationship, so that I didn't even intend for that to fall here. But I was kind of hoping that it would, when I played it. So we're gonna get started, and like last week, all of the songs on this particular record, disc two, of "Everything That Dies," was inspired by a local song, and by local I mean a Minnesota artist wrote the song that inspired my song. And this first one uh, was actually I think the lead track to the song, or to the album, I should say, "As Minnesota as It Gets." And a couple weeks ago, I played "Most Important Night of My Life" by GB Layton, and this is one by this person named Tina Schlischke, called "Come On In." And this song has been in my subconscious for a while, but I finally had it stuck in my head, and I was like, "Ooh, that's awesome! I love that tune." And so I wanted to kind of emulate it. Um, and it's interesting because this song, last week I played "She's Got My Number," the Semisonic song, and this song was actually at least written by, maybe co-written, with Dan Wilson. And so there's that connection, and there are all kinds of Dan Wilson connections that I'm going to talk about tonight. But that is certainly one of them. And so this is "A Life Together" and "Come On In," and I hope you enjoy both of them. Who's that light at the end of the darkness, loving me when people in the past were so heartless, loving me? Wish a passion and a starkness, it's you and always has been. My running from you has caused trepidation. Void fillers perpetuated alienation. And the only time it's seen cessation is when I get to see your grin. It's been a while since I have been back around. You're my object permanence when my troubles start to mount. A rendezvous or on the phone. You keep me from feeling so alone. So tell me your life together isn't too far from your mind. Where are the roads that led to a chasm? Why does it feel like I was the only one who has them? On their own they're not so bad, but if you add them, they begin to take their toll. A part of me will always be broken, and that's the reason why I haven't spoken. I was a cynic, but you left the door open to be the one who heals my soul. It's been a while since I have been back around. You're my object permanence when my troubles start to mount. A rendezvous or on the phone. You keep me from feeling so alone. So tell me a life together isn't too far from your mind. It's been a while since I have been back around. You're my object permanence when my troubles start to mount. A rendezvous or on the phone. You keep me from feeling so alone. So tell me your life together isn't too far from your mind. A rendezvous or on the phone. You keep me from feeling so alone. So tell me your life together isn't too far from your mind. What's that racket outside my window? Sounds just like an old hound dog baying, saying I got a thing or two I'm gonna have to answer for. I'm not the kind to be taking a blank, but everything is all my fault, I guess. So maybe you will let me get some sleep, get away from my front door. Hold on with the way you were born, you think you never got your way before. Come on in, come on in. There's room in my confession for one more sin. And maybe in an hour or two we can work it all out, oh yeah. What's that racket? It's 4 in the morning. Oh, my mistake, is it that there you dog? Thought it was the guy from sanitation rolling with the garbage can. Are you still singing that same old song? Sounds just like a big brass band. Sounds just like the guy from your convention coming with a battering ram. Hold on from the way you cry. You think you never got your way before. Come on in, I confess. There's room in my confession for one more mess. It may be in an hour or two, we can work it all out more or less. Hold on, from the way you were born, you think you never felt this way before. Come on in. There's room in my confession for one more sin. It may be in an hour or two, we can work it all out, oh yeah. Come on in, I confess. It may be in an hour or two. All right, and that was A Life Together and Come On In. I need to text one of my fans really quick and let him know. He was confused because it said restream. He thought it was a like a repeat. That's common misconception, though. All right. Thank you for that. So like I said, this is a set of songs that was inspired by all Minnesota songs. And that particular one, like I said, was on a compilation called As Minnesota as It Gets. And a couple Thursdays ago, I was in school teaching and all of that. And I was like, man, uh, I just could not get this song out of my head, and it was really a throwback. It was one of those things. So I went back and listened to it, and looked it up on Spotify and all of that good stuff. And that was that. But yeah, really good song, kind of an underappreciated gem. So speaking of appreciated gems, my cousin Brian is watching. And he requested "Won't Back Down," or "I Won't Back Down," I should say, by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I just need to make sure I'm playing this in the right key, but I do know how to play it, and so I'm going to play that by request, and this is a good one for tonight. Now, I do want to say this kind of breaks with the idea that I'm playing all Minnesota artists, but this is Tom Petty, as you probably know, was in a band called the Traveling Wilburys with Bob Dylan. And Bob Dylan is from Minnesota. The person who produced this song, his name is Jeff Lynne, and Jeff Lynne co-wrote at least a couple of songs with Bob Dylan, and so you got Minnesota connections abound there. So this is "I Won't Back Down," and I hope you enjoy it. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up in the gates of hell, but I stand my ground. Won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me around, but I'll stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I'll stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life. In a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I won't back down. No, I won't back down. I won't back, hey, baby. There ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I stand my ground, and I won't back down. No, I won't back down. All right, that got better as time went on, but I appreciate you for that request, both of you guys. Yeah, so that is that. All right, now I mentioned earlier kind of underappreciated gems from Minnesota, and there are a lot of people that know this band as opposed to Tina Schlischke, but uh, maybe not as many appreciate them as they should. And this particular band really was not able to get out of its own way, unfortunately. But just a phenomenal group out of Minneapolis, and that, of course, is the Replacements. Now, this particular song was off of an album called Pleased to Meet Me, and there is a Memphis connection to that particular, two Memphis connections actually, to that particular album that it's on. So, of course, they're from Minnesota. I already specified that. But they went down to Memphis to record, I believe, at Arden. And so they're recording, and they're meeting with the A&R people, the folks at the label, and Tommy Stinson kept on going around to all these bigwigs in suits and just saying, "Pleased to meet me, pleased to meet me." And so that's how the album got its title. And I just absolutely love that story. But I knew I wanted to include them on this particular set of songs. Like I said, inspired by Minnesota artists. But this song is a song called "Can't Hardly Wait." And that's their song, and then my song is called Sheen. So I'm going to play Sheen first. Left Memphis in October, saw the northern sky. I couldn't seem to get over, no matter how I tried. I think about the times when things felt so serene. Said you were pleased to meet me when we exchanged first glance. Fell in love in that theater, but couldn't ask for a chance. Yeah, I ran around looking for a sure thing, but there ain't no one I would rather see where my ring goes when I think about you. The things felt so serene. You've lit up my face since I've known you. Yeah, I don't want to lose that sheen. Yeah, I think of all the times I've set up for something in between. You've lit up my face since I've known you. I don't want to lose that sheen. Write you a letter tomorrow. Tonight I can't hold a pen. Someone's gotta stand, I can borrow. Yeah, I promise not to blow the address again. Lights flash in the evening through a crack in the drapes. Jesus rides beside me. He never buys any smokes. Hurry up, ain't you had enough of this stuff? Ashtray floors, dirty clothes, and filthy jokes. See you high and lonesome. Try and try and try. Lights flash in the evening through a hole in the drapes. I'll be home when I'm sleeping. I can hardly wait. I can't wait. All right, and that was Can't Hardly Wait by The Replacements. So Brian, you asked about Soul Asylum being up next. They actually made it on last week's set. I played Runaway Train on part one of this particular set. So that'll be like the fourth song, I think, on there. But yeah, they're one of my favorites as well. So as you guys know, and we're probably surprised, speaking of last week's song, there was no Bob Dylan on it, and it's based on artists from Minnesota, which was ridiculous. But I have a couple of Bob Dylan songs that I'm going to play tonight, and a funny Bob Dylan story for you coming at you that has to do with The Replacements. So they were recording somewhere, I can't remember, or I haven't been able to piece together what album that would have been. But they were, for some reason, in the same studio as Bob Dylan, and so he walked in, and they're just all absolutely awestruck, as one would be, and so there's this just long, uncomfortable silence, and then after a couple of minutes of that, he just looks at the band members and he just goes, "Hey, any of you got any weed?" And that was their interaction with Bob Dylan. It was just the absolute best. There is a biography on them called Trouble Boys that's super, super good. If you're in Memphis, I know they carry copies of it at the Book Juggler, which I was really happy to figure out. And I actually said that when I was there, getting another couple of books, and said I'm from Minnesota, so I really love seeing them getting the love they deserve. And this woman says to me, she goes, wait, where in Minnesota are you from? And so I said St. Paul, and the better of the two twin cities, which is 100% true. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I agree with you." I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" And she said, "Yeah, I actually lived in Roseville for about 3 years, about 30 years ago, and Roseville is a suburb of St. Paul." So that was pretty nuts. Um, so, this next band I have had the pleasure of seeing live at least once. I know for sure once, maybe twice. Actually, yeah, twice. Um, I have seen them twice. Once at the Basilica Block Party with my cousin Brian and Pat Gavin, who's basically my cousin, and saw him there, and then saw him at Minnesota Music on a Stick, which is basically this, except you get to see the actual artists. Before I go any further, I've mentioned Pat Gavin a couple of times. He used to work at this coffee shop called Clatta Coffee, and it is one of my favorite spots in St. Paul. And they actually have two locations. One's just on Selby Avenue, and it's kind of a smaller one, and then the other one is on West 7th. But really good spot, locally owned. And they're probably not doing music there now, but I know they've given me gigs here and there. And by here and there, I mean, when I've been home and things like that, throughout high school especially. They let me play there pretty often. So really, really good spot. And make sure you go support them if you are in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area. And yeah, like I said, just a great, great spot, great people that own it. And they definitely need your help. And I know they're doing the right thing. So however you can support them, whatever way you feel comfortable doing that, definitely do that. But anyway, I mentioned Cloud Cult. And they have this song on their album called Love that's called Meet Me Where You're Going. If I am not mistaken, it is the ninth track on that record. And this is a song that was inspired by that song. My song is called Hold Me, and their song is Meet Me Where You're Going. Hold me in your arms like pretty soon you will disperse. Tell me that you won't, and you will be ending all I heard. From the moment I had you one-on-one, I could feel magic in the air. You found me right as I felt I was too far beyond repair. You're the one, I'm convinced, and I love no one since I tried to fill the hole, but you're best for my soul. Mine was shattered, that didn't matter. You love me for who I am. Hold me in your arms like you will never hold me again. From the moment I had you one-on-one, I could feel the magic in the air. You found me right as I felt I was too far beyond repair. You're the one, I'm convinced. Have not loved no one since. Yeah, I tried to fill the hole, but you're best for my soul. Where we are headed, I'll go unleaded and be there with you in record time. Hold me in your arms now, like we'll see the exploding sunshine. From the moment I had you one-on-one, I could feel magic in the air. You found me right as I felt I was too far beyond repair. You're the one I'm convinced have not loved no one since. I tried to fill the hole, but you're best for my soul. Meet me where you're going, 'cause I wanna be going where you are. Teach me what you're knowing, 'cause I wanna be knowing who you are. Run away with me, oh, let's get married. Will you be the rest of my life? Every day with you I say I do, and it means so much more each time. And I love you, and I won't leave you alone. Will you be my own now? And I'll be your home. Pray God for patience, pray God for guidance. Make us selfless, rich in soul. 'Cause when we grow old, love, I'll just love you more. Love through the sunshine and through the cold. I'm not a rain, come fire, come rain with you by my side. I'm out boundless love for you when I swallowed my foolish pride. And I love you and I won't leave you alone. Will you be my own now? And I'll be your own. Pray. Thank you for patience. Thank you for forgiveness. Thank you for spending this time with me. Meet me where you're going, 'cause I wanna be going where you'll be. Run away with me, oh, let's get married. Will you be the rest of my life? Every day with you I say I do, and it means so much more each time, so much more each time. And I love you and I won't leave you alone. Will you be my own now? And I'll be your own. And I love you and I won't leave you alone. Will you be my own now? And I'll be your own. All right, and that was Meet Me Where You're Going by Cloud Cult. And before that, I played my song, which was called Hold Me. It was, like I said, inspired by that particular song by Cloud Cult. All right, cool. So, like I said, I have had the pleasure of seeing Cloud Cult live, and this next band, I have had the pleasure of seeing live as well. They inspired this song with their song "Sequestered in Memphis," and I actually saw them in Memphis, so I got to see them play this song in Memphis, which was super cool. What it means wasn't necessarily as popular as maybe this one, but politics aside, even that is understandable. So this is I kind of took the idea of the line in Sequestered in Memphis saying I'm getting pretty sick of this interview, to like what would happen if I just like randomly sat on a bus bench and started talking to um, some guy waiting for his bus about my love life, and like how would that person react? And so I just had a grand old time writing this song, and playing a little bit with the alliteration. And this There was actually a little bit of research that went into this song to make a rhyme work. Um, but this is a song called Toma, and I'm gonna do it as a medley with Sequestered in Memphis. Man, I know you didn't ask me, and I know you're just waiting on your bus, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. It all began back in 2013 on that 10th February day. You see, I was down by the bluffs in the land of 10,000 lakes, and she was on the other side of town. She put up a good facade, but was only really there when it was convenient for her to be around. It'd take me 6 years to fully get over her and find the woman of my dreams, who was all this time just a little ways down 61. But there was still more pain in between. Was wounded in Winona, but treated in Toma. Was wounded in Winona, but treated in Toma. He said, that's really great, man, I'm glad it all worked out, but I really gotta catch my ride. It's coming here right now, I don't know what you're doing here, but I hope I never see you again in my life. I told him, wait a minute, man, the next part's when I moved on with a girl from the Peachtree State. We met in Spain and I thought she would fix my past, but she just reinforced the state. The one that was lodged in my heart. As I tried to pick up the pieces 731 days later. But as it turned out, there was someone out there who was even greater. I lost in Livonia. Yeah, I took off in Toma. Yeah, I lost in Livonia. I took off in Toma. I said, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, man. I hope the next bus comes before the sun starts to fade. He said, don't worry about it, man. Part of me is still annoyed, but a bigger part of me is glad I stayed. So come on, tell me what happened between you and her. Did it all work out in the end? I told him I tried to go back to the well I've always known, but she only wanted to be friends. Then I was sick of pouring out my heart and get nothing in return. There's only one with whom I want to make it last. Just one person in the world, and that's the Wisconsin girl, who can't help me to forget about the past. There was just one small thing. She moved on and I'm not sure where I stand, but nothing's felt okay since she went away, and I'd give anything just to be a man. Martin, Minnesota, transcended in Toma. Martin, Minnesota, transcended in Toma. It started when we were dancing and got heavy when we got to the bathroom. We didn't go back to a place, we went to a place where she cat sits. She said, I know I look tired, But everything's right in Memphis. Man, they wanna know exactly which bathroom. Dude, does it make any difference? It can be important. Yeah, sure, I'll tell my story again. In the bar light, she looked alright. In daylight, she looked desperate. That's alright, I was getting desperate too. Yeah, I'm getting pretty sick of this interview. Subpoenaed in Texas, sequestered in Memphis. Subpoenaed in Texas, sequestered in Memphis. I think she drove a new Mustang, I guess it might be a rental. I remember she had satellite radio. I guess she seemed a bit nervous. Do you think that I'm stupid? What the hell, I'll tell my story again. In the bar light, she looked alright. In daylight, she looked desperate. That's alright, I was desperate too. I'm getting pretty sick of this interview. Subpoenaed in Texas, sequestered in Memphis. Subpoenaed in Texas, sequestered in Memphis. All right, and that was sequestered in Memphis. That is that. All right, excellent. I've actually had the pleasure of hearing that song twice live now that I'm thinking about it. So I heard it once in Memphis, and then I heard it once in wannabe Memphis, and by that I mean Nashville. When I went to see Josh Ritter live, his bass player Zachariah Hickman has this band called Barnstorm, and they played a cover of this song, and it was just phenomenal. So that is that. Yeah. So anyway, that is that. And part of this, just got a text saying, good to look forward to the future. And to me, this actually is, looking forward to the future, because my past was full of despair, and so now we got a bunch of hope in the future, and that's an awesome thing. But also, the other thing about that is saying, hey, let's look forward to the future in my songs. That's like asking for a picture of me when I was younger, when every picture is technically a picture of me when I was younger. So you're right. We're here to move on. And this is why this is the cure and not the curse side of this particular live stream, this particular album, which is a double album actually. I am getting a lot closer. I think I'm on album 97, maybe 98, that I've written, and that's, I mean, some of them I've written and then scrapped, but in terms of usable material, and I wouldn't be there without my past. Let's just say that. But we're gonna have a 3-week blowout bash once I reach 100 albums. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But that is that. And like I said, to quote Mark McGuire, not here to talk about the past. So that is that. Now, speaking of artists that I have seen live and that put on phenomenal shows, that is going to be that. And Pat, you were right. It is a little bit impossible for a Packers fan. Secret's out. I'm Minnesota Mike, but I'm a Packers fan. It's a little bit impossible for us to look to the future. But in my defense, Jordan Love is quarantined right now, so that's why it's currently a little bit hard to do that. But we'll make it. So, like I said, speaking of artists that I have seen in the past, since this is a referendum apparently on the past, Trampled by Turtles, man, really, really fabulous band. And I saw him actually same night that I saw Drive By Truckers about 3 years ago. They were at Memphis in May at Beale Street Music Festival, and it just put on a spectacular show. They've got so much energy. So me doing this from my bedroom isn't really going to do it justice. But they've got that, the live shows and all of that. By the way, I meant to point this out earlier when I was playing Cloud Cult. Their picture is right up above me, right next to Dan Wilson's picture. And so I don't have all of these, all of the Minnesota artists on here that I'm doing tonight, but I only have so much wall space. So what are you going to do? But anyway, so this is a song called "It's Been a While," and this was inspired by "Wait So Long" by Trampled by Turtles. Just to finish that thought really quick, so Trampled by Turtles came back to Memphis the area at least. They were playing in South Haven, Mississippi, about 18 minutes from Memphis. And there's this place called the Landers Center, and um, they were advertising shows, uh, on the scoreboard, the wraparound banner and whatever. And it was like such a weird mix of shows because we were seeing 3-6 Mafia. They were playing there. And then like a couple weeks later, Sesame Street Live was coming in. And then a couple weeks after that, it was Trampled by Turtles. And so it was just a really diverse group of shows that they were letting into the Landers Center there. But anyway, if you ever get the chance to see Trampled by Turtles, they're absolutely fabulous. And so please do. I'm going to give you It's Been a While, and then Wait So Long. And I hope you enjoy both of them. If I wanted to, I could go for what's easy, but what seems simple turned out not to be. I guess when it comes to loving you, things just seem to happen so naturally. It's been a while and I'm a cynic, but I wouldn't try to jump in again if there wasn't something worth it. 'Cause you are my eternal sand. It's been a while, I can't be picky, yet I know what I want finally, and loving no one else, so I hope that you choose to love me. It's been a while, but you know how to make me smile. It's been a while, but you make the pain worth it. Always know how to make me smile. Let's make a run and make it forever, though it seems like it's so far from me. It's been a while, but you can love me and do so in a higher gear. It's been a while, but I'm slowly somehow finding my way back. It's been a while, I lost my way, and when I do, you always draw me a map. It's been a while, but I am somehow slowly finding my way back. It's been a while, I lost my way, and when I do, you always draw me a map. I could never pretend that I don't love you. You could never pretend that I'm your man. That's exactly the way that I want it. That's exactly the way that I am. And you can call me in the morning with your troubles, taking downtown every night. I could never miss the stars at night above you. I got my hands to the ground, you know I'm right. You wait so long, you wait so long, you wait so long, you wait so long. It's a coffee-stained earth every time it happens. Liven up, honey, it ain't all that bad. Any empty thought rose to recognition. Every other coffin that I had, and your building broke down. And when a mule come up to your knees and pray to the Lord, then you take up hope in the politicians. Nothing happens in this burnout town anymore. You wait so long, you wait so long, you wait so long, you wait so long. And your hollows are like a frozen freight train. You know that I am if I can, but I'm just a raindrop in a river, just an itty bitty grain of sand. And you know that I'm doomed to repeat this with all the bad habits that I learned. But it's better than your Bible and fornication and the little dirty money that you earn. You wait so long, 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 you wait so long. All right, and that was Wait So Long by Trampled by Turtles. So we have reached another request that's going to get us off track from our all Minnesota music show tonight, but that is totally fine. So Pat, I am going to give you. Oh wow, how about that? Their drummer is from West St. Paul, an '89 CDH grad. That is pretty phenomenal. Excellent. So, with that being said, I feel good about that. I'm going to fact check you in a little bit, but that's pretty phenomenal. So, Pat, I'm going to give you 3 options here for Snow Patrol songs. I can either do Run. I can do Close Your Eye, or Shut Your Eyes, I should say. I can do Run, I can do Shut Your Eyes, or I can do Open Your Eyes. Which would you like to hear? Just let me know, and I will get it in. I hope that's true, by the way. The '89 CDH grad, that's a very specific piece of information. But like I said, Pat, just let me know. I'm going to do Run. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to do Run before I move on to the next song. Let me get this key right. Okay, I can pull it off in C. Give me 1 second here. I'll sing it one last time for you. Then I really have to go. You've been the only thing that's right in all I've done. And I can barely look at you, 'cause every single time I do, I know we'll make it anywhere away from here. Light up, as if you have a choice. Even if you cannot hear my voice, I'll be right beside you, dear. To think I might not see those eyes It makes it so hard not to cry. And as we say our long goodbye, yeah, I nearly do. Light up, as if you have a choice. Even if you cannot hear my voice, yeah, I'll be right beside you, dear. Slower, slower, we don't have time for that. All I want's to find an easier way to get out of our little heads. Have heart, my dear, we're bound to be afraid, even if it's just for a few days, to get out of our little heads. Light up, as if you have a choice. Even if you cannot hear my voice, yeah, I'll be right beside you, dear. All right, and by request, that was Run by Snow Patrol. Hope you enjoyed that. And that was that, yeah. I'm going to look that up later, see about that. I'm guessing it's one of their touring musicians, but that counts. Being from Minnesota, I am 100% cool with that. Awesome. So, next song that we are going to do is a song of mine called Since I Don't Know. And that has nothing to do with my memory. You'll see where that comes up. But this was inspired by the song Mississippi by Bob Dylan, so I'm going to play that. And also kind of has a Josh Ritter feel to it as well. He has a song called Lawrence, Kansas. I don't know why I put that capo on because I don't need it. But I'm just going to play Mississippi and Since I Don't Know. And I hope you enjoy it. Took I-22 out to Birmingham, trying to change your mind to go after another man. You lied when we got there about why you didn't want my touch. I got there in under 6 hours. I don't know why I was in such a rush. I don't love you anymore, but that would never show. Been trying to get back to Georgia since I don't know. Took a wrong turn coming from Memphis, wound up in Des Moines. Something was off about how we ended, and my pain was readjoined. See, she said she wanted to be friends, but she never called me back. And so, yeah, I've been trying to get back to Des Moines since I don't know. Met a girl from Annandale, a bit north of St. Paul. She didn't Want nothing romantic, but didn't want us to fall. Now maybe she's the one I've been chasing. Our conversations flowed so well. I guess I needed that stimulation in order to break the spell. Met a girl from the Midwest for my protection, took it slow. Now I've been trying to get back to Toma since I don't know. Now I've been trying to get back to Toma since I don't know. Every step of the way we walk the line, your days are numbered, so are mine. Time is piling up, we struggle and we scrape. We're all boxed in, nowhere to escape. City's just a jungle, more games to play. Trapped in the heart of it and trying to get away. I was raised in the country, I've been working in the town. I've been in trouble ever since I set my suitcase down. Got nothing for you, I had nothing before. Don't even have anything but myself anymore. Sky full of fire, pain pouring down. Nothing you can sell me, I'll see you around. All my powers of expression and thoughts so sublime could never do you justice in reason or in rhyme. Only thing I did wrong, stayed in Mississippi a day too long. Well, the devil's in the alley, mules in the stars. Say anything you wanna, I have heard it all. I was thinking about the things that Rosie said. I was dreaming I was sleeping in Rosie's bed, walking through the leaves falling from the trees, feeling like a stranger nobody sees. So many things we will never undo. I know you're sorry, I'm sorry too. Some people will offer you their hand and some won't. Last night I knew you, tonight I don't. Yeah, I needed something strong to distract my mind. Yeah, I'm gonna look at you till my eyes go blind. Well, I got here following the southern star. Yeah, I crossed that river just to be where you are. The only thing I did wrong, stayed in Mississippi a day too long. Well, my ship's been split to splinters and everything's sinking fast. I'm drowning in the poison, got no future, got no past. I've got nothing but affection for all those who have sailed with me. Everybody's moving if they aren't already there. Everybody's gotta move somewhere. Stick with me, baby, with me anyhow. Things should start to get interesting right about now. My clothes are wet, tight on my skin. Nothing as tight as the corner I painted myself in. I know that fortune is waiting to be kind. So give me your hand and say you'll be mine. Well, the emptiness is endless, cold as clay. You can always come back, but you can't come back all the way. Only thing I did wrong, Stayed in Mississippi a day too long. Only one thing I did wrong. Stayed in Mississippi a day too long. All right, thank you very much. That was, I'm just assuming you're applauding. That was Mississippi by Bob Dylan. For reference, the hook there is I stayed in Mississippi a day too long, and so for reference, what inspired that is Bob Dylan spent one day in Mississippi, and that triggered the whole song. So that was that. I was actually scheduled to see Dylan in Nashville because I was gonna go back up to Minnesota for my reunion over the summer, and that didn't work out. The reunion got canceled, and then so did both of the Bob Dylan shows. There was one in Mississippi, one in Nashville, and I bought tickets for the Nashville one, and then both of them ended up getting canceled. So thanks, COVID. But I hope he comes back to the area. In a couple of years, once this is all over, or whenever that might be. It might not be a couple of years. Might be sooner, might be later, but that is all right. So speaking of Bob Dylan, I was thinking about this today, and was going to play it earlier, but then I thought, I'll just save it for the live stream. And the big thing that's been kind of hitting me over especially the past 6 months after George Floyd's killing, so 5 months and a little bit of change, is just how sick I am of playing Blowing in the Wind in context and not having an answer to specifically the line is how many times how many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? There's how many people must be killed before too many people have died? So there are just all of these questions in there that I'm sick and tired of asking. And it's one of those things where we gotta keep on asking ourselves that in order to properly heal as a nation. And we've got a ways to go in that regard. Today was a good step in the right direction, but it's going to take a lot to reform the criminal justice system and all of that. But on reflecting on Bob Dylan, the first thing that came to my mind is the positive song, positive political song of his that came to my mind was The Times They Are Changin'. And so I even though it doesn't fit the theme of The Cure in terms of a relationship, it kind of does in a lot of ways. So this is The Times They Are Changin', and I hope you enjoy it. Come gather round, baby, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and admit that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come writers, come critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway or block up the heart. For he who is hurt is he who gets stopped. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. Gun mothers throughout all the land. And don't criticize what you cannot understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can lend your hand, 'cause the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast. In the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are a-changing, for the times they are a-changing. All right, and that was The Times They Are Changing by the one and only Bob Dylan. Yeah. That one, I didn't think about this until now, but that one I want to dedicate to my friend Zeke, who passed away about a year ago, and he lived through a decent chunk of the Trump presidency, and people a lot of times will say like, "Oh, you get conservative when you're older." Not Zeke. He had a lot of great wisdom about politics, and it was really really cool to see. And then of course he loved Bob Dylan too. So Zeke, I hope we made you proud by electing Biden. Miss you like crazy, man, and hope that song got to you. But we are going to play somebody who has a little bit of an opposite journey of Bob Dylan, but is still a local musician, nonetheless, a Minnesota musician. And this guy's name is Mason Jennings, and this is a song called "Race You to the Light" that I'm going to play, and it inspired one of my songs called "Positive Rage," which was in and of itself inspired by the Hold Steady. Craig Finn is from Minnesota, the lead singer of that band. But this is a song called "A Positive Rage," and "A Positive Rage" is a live Hold Steady album, so that's where I got that title from. So just, kind of a 2-for-1 on that particular one. But a couple funny stories about Mason Jennings. Well, first of all, not really a funny story, but a neutral one. I said that he's kind of the opposite of Bob Dylan in his journey. So he is not originally from Minnesota. He's from Hawaii. And everybody I tell that to is like, what an idiot for moving to Minnesota from Hawaii. Clearly he didn't move for the weather, so he actually wanted to be there. But this is Mason Jennings that I'm going to play his song, and then my song, "A Positive Rage." But anyway, a handful of years ago, he was playing it at my high school, but for some reason they only let like a certain amount of kids in, like people from the theater department, or I don't know, something kind of weird, where it was like an exclusive show. And I knew about it because I was delivering reminders for people because we were having a blood drive. And so I was delivering reminders to people that, like, hey, you said you were going to give blood, like, this is your time tomorrow or whatever. And so I had to deliver a couple that were, in the theater. The kids were in the theater. And so I'm talking with Miss Lavelle, who's uh, one of the Spanish teachers at my high school, and she says to me, she's like, "Yeah," she's like, "some guy is performing. I think it's like Waylon Jennings or something." And for reference, Waylon Jennings died in 2001, and this was like 2009 or 10. That he was playing. So that would have been pretty incredible if that had been Waylon Jennings, but it was indeed Mason Jennings. So similar to me, being a Memphian by choice, moving from somewhere else, in large part for the music. Mason Jennings did the same thing. Moved to Minnesota and did that. So this is a positive rage, and or just positive rage, I should say. I took out the article, and Race You to the Light by Mason Jennings. Yeah, I ain't sure where I was going, and I still don't. I could try to love somebody else, but I probably won't. You've never been introduced to my inner rage. Maybe 'cause when I am with you it leaves center stage. Well, you're my motivation to finally turn the page. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. 'Cause now I only see your love was one they never gave. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. Now that you showed me first class, I can't go back to coach. Now that I'll never regret the things that they once broke. I ain't never met no one who does the things you do. I could choose somebody else, but they would not be you. Well, you are my motivation to finally turn the page. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. 'Cause now I only see your love was one they never gave. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. Now that I'm exactly where I belong, I know you are so right when everything was wrong. Well, you're my motivation to finally turn the page. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. 'Cause now I only see your love was one they never gave. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. Well, you're my motivation to finally turn the page. You give me positive rage, you give me positive rage. 'Cause now I only see your love was one they never gave. You give me positive rage, give me positive rage. Maybe we'll be together when the sun disappears in a house that we've been building for 100 million years. And you can be my little sister, you can be my mother too. Oh, I'll race you to the light, I'll race you to the light, I'll race you to the light, I'll race you to the light. Yeah, I'll meet you in the corner 'cause my folks are in a fight. Yeah, I'll meet you in the corner and we'll tear across the hill. Oh, I'm not sure feeling quite right, I wanna love you still. Yeah, I always wanna see you. 'Cause you look inside my pain and you cup it with your hands and you call it by its name. Then you bury it between us in the dirt beneath our feet, and we grow from it together like a weeping willow tree. Maybe we'll watch together as the stars write out our names from a raft that we've been building out of hailstones and flames. I can be your little brother, I can be your father too. Oh, I'll race you to the light, I'll race you to the light, I'll race you to the light, I'll race you to the light. Yeah, I'll meet you at the hideout where the sticks are leaning tall, where the light is growing darker, where we don't feel scared at all. 'Cause my arms are wrapped around you with your face against my neck. We know magic doesn't happen without patience and respect. And the halls have all blown open and the truth is running free. There ain't nothing in this world more alive than you and me. There ain't nothing in this world more alive than you and me. There ain't nothing in this world more alive than you and me. There ain't no one more in love than you and me. More in love than you and me. More in love than you and me. I'll race you to the light. I'll race you to the light. I'll race you to the light. I will race you to the light. I will race you to the light. I'll 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 race you to the light. All right, and that was Positive Rage, followed by Race You to the Light by Mason Jennings. Hope you appreciated that one. All right, so this next song is a song called Don't Even Have to Try, and it was inspired by the Gear Daddies and their song Time Heals. So the Gear Daddies are one of those bands that, being from Minnesota at least, like, I know I've heard their songs, but it's one of those things where, like, if you ask me, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell you. Zamboni is probably one of their more famous ones, but I came across this one when I was looking for Minnesota inspiration, and I just absolutely loved it. So my Gear Daddy's story is not even really my story, but my guitar teacher growing up, he was telling me this story one time about this bar that he went to. I'm not entirely sure where it was, but the bartender there was the way that my guitar teacher put it was, you know, he was an English teacher or maybe an English professor, but then at the end of the day he was a bartender, so it was like, you know, he wasn't the hot shot that he thought he was. That was essentially the the point that Matt was trying to make. But anyway, so he would just, like, talk about literature and, like, try to impress all these women who would come into the bar, and just like an absolute piece of work. So anyway, one of the days my guitar teacher was in the bar just, like, hanging out and whatever, and he asked the bartender. He goes, "Oh, can you tell me what's the literal definition of ubiquitous?" And before the bartender could answer, this guy just answers the question, and he goes, "Oh, that's when something is, like, just everywhere. It's inescapable." And the person who answered the question was Martin Zeller from the Gear Daddies. And so my guitar teacher looks at the bartender and he goes, "Wow, it took the guy from the Gear Daddies to tell you what the literal definition of ubiquitous was," and just completely put the guy in his place. So every time I think of the Gear Daddies, I think of that story and just how absolutely ridiculous that was. Took the guy from the Gear Daddies for you to learn the literal definition of ubiquitous. And now I use the word ubiquitous all the time too. So that's one of those things. But this is maybe there we go. This is Don't Even Have to Try, and Time Heals, second one by the Gear Daddies. It was a big old deal when we rendezvoused. I braved all the land, snow for you, and the look on your face was priceless as could be. It was another 6 months before I saw you again. A lot between us had changed since then, but I need you like I need to breathe. Yeah, I gave you time and I gave us space, but all of them blew up in my face, 'cause no one on this earth gives me your high. You never know about what I didn't say, but when I'm with you, there's no room for gray. You break the curse and don't even have to try. Yeah, I long said loving me ain't that hard, but even with that, you raised the bar. I can't believe how natural this all feels. All our friends can plainly see I was made for you, you were made for me, and this makes up for all of my raw deals. I gave us time and I gave us space, but all of them blew up in my face, 'cause no one on this earth gives me your high. You never know about what I didn't say, but when I'm with you, there's no room for gray. You bring us and you don't even have to try. Loving you is easy, 'cause you love me as well. Brought me on a one-way ticket back from hell. So I gave us time and I gave us space, but all of that blew up in my face, 'cause no one on this earth gives me your high. You never know about what I didn't say, but when I'm with you, there's no room for gray. You break the curse and don't even have to try. So I gave us time and I gave us space, but all of that blew up in my face, 'cause no one on this earth gives me your high. You never know about what I didn't say, but when I'm with you, there's no room for gray. You break the curse and you don't even have to try. You break the curse and you don't even have to try. Well, if it's right for you and it's right for me, well, that's something I just could never see. Just to take it all and throw it all away. And I asked you once and I asked you twice, should I listen to my dad's advice? I asked him once and this is all he said. He said, remember that time heals and time forgets. You shouldn't smoke them goddamn cigarettes. And if I was in her shoes, I'd have had something like that someday. That sounds like something you'd say. That sounds like something you'd say. That sounds like some. Now I met you there and I met you then, and the changes come and you don't depend on what I'd say and how I feel. And I can write to you and you can write to me, and I could shrug it off and you could let it be. Guess it's right, but I think it all depends. And just remember that time heals and time forgets. You shouldn't smoke them goddamn cigarettes. And if I was in the shoes, I'd have something like that someday. That sounds like something you'd say. That sounds like something you'd say. That sounds like Well, if it's right for you and it's right for me, that's something I just could never see. Just to take it all and throw it all away. And I'd ask you once and I'd ask you twice, should I have paid attention to my dad's advice? He said, just remember that time heals and time forgets. But that's one thing I won't never forget. Time heals and time forgets. But that sounds like something you never forget. And that sounds like something. That sounds like something. All right, and that was Time Heals and Don't Even Have to Try. That first one, Don't Even Have to Try, was my original song, and it was inspired by Time Heals by the Gear Daddies, which in the 90s was rather ubiquitous. That particular song, I'm just plugging in my laptop here because I'm running low on juice and don't want to run into a situation like I did before where I'm at like 4% and in the middle of a medley. It just wouldn't sound good. Yeah, but I just have a couple more and two more originals actually, and then two covers to go along with that. So I am going to play this next one. So this next one was actually inspired, and you can hopefully see my shirt. I'm wearing this Suburb shirt, which my mom was nice enough to get for me. And they are a fabulous band out of Minnesota. And out of Minneapolis, I should say specifically. That's kind of sort of Minnesota. We can, I guess, count it. But this is inspired by "Love Is the Law," and I was always gonna play this because it was, appropriate for the album. But with the election today, that was just kind of a cool thing, and it's interesting because there are so many things that with my students that in their lifetime has been just kind of been normalized thanks to President Obama and at the time Vice President Biden. And one of those is gay marriage, that love is love, and that's as simple as it is. And so after the Supreme Court rulings a handful of years ago, "Love Is the Law" just kind of became an anthem for gay pride, and it was just a really, really cool thing. Just generally speaking, I just found that connection to be really cool with today's election. That love always wins somehow, and so this is Nowhere from Her and "Love Is the Law," and I hope you enjoy both of them. Breaking out of my hang didn't seem like too tall a task. I'll just take a few days and then I will be moved on to the next. Then in an instant it seemed 2 whole years had gone by. Hadn't let no one in, but it let out many a cry. So I let myself trust, and we would hang out and drink the week. She was the first one I let in. Recovery's door began to creak, but then did not go nowhere. Halted on December 1st. Said she wanted to be friends, but instead she just gave me up. So 2 years later I met someone who lived just down the street. We spent lots of time together, every minute was so sweet. I didn't want to lose her, so I stayed silent out of fear. Ever since then in my head I always seem to hear, you can't go nowhere from her, 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 you can't go nowhere from her. through the middle of town and said to myself, what's going on? People breaking the law just to make ends meet. People breaking their hearts just to stay on the street. It written on the wall for everyone else to see. 'Cause love is the law right there on the street. It said love is the law. Love is the law. Oh, love is the law. Love is the law. Well, girls, you're looking alright. Boys, you don't look so bad. You gotta give it if you wanna get it. You gotta give it if you wanna get it. Love is the law. Love is the law. All right, and that was Nowhere From Her and Love Is the Law. I hope you enjoyed both of those. Yeah, that song has definitely been in my head past couple of days. Now, speaking of Chan Poling, this is going to be a long walk to this connection, but he was a member of the Suburbs and is currently one of the members of the New Standards. And he is the New Standards. Actually, basically what they do is they take covers of or they make covers of regular songs and do them in like kind of a jazz style. And one of them that they do is a song called Snow Days by Trip Shakespeare, which was Dan Wilson, Matt Wilson, um, and Eileen somebody. I can't remember her last name, but I know those were the core members. And this one actually does have a little bit more of a jazzy feel to it, and so they didn't have to change a whole lot with that. But Trip Shakespeare was essentially the precursor to semisonic, and so they're obviously really important in terms of Minnesota music. And this is, like I said, a song called Snow Days. And the first one that I'm going to play is a song that I wrote that's called "I Have Arrived," which as you can tell, a lot of these particular songs this week are happy relationship songs, which I mean you never get from me. This is rare, so soak it up, because we're gonna get a little bit more negative next week. But some of the songs are gonna be funny, so you'll appreciate that. But anyway, so this kind of culminated the album with like, "Hey, I'm finally here," like finally getting back and feeling like, hey, I'm valued as a human being by women, which is a nice thing, and just borderline expectations or baseline expectations, I should say. But there's just something more that I've been feeling and trying to fight for, and so that's a really cool thing. So this is "I Have Arrived," and snow days, and I hope you enjoy both of them. I ever ride the love for which I've waited, never felt more alive. I ever ride east on 94 is the one who makes me thrive. Open up the windows, tell everyone the news. I am so much better now that I am you. I never gave up, though I was a sinning. But races aren't worth it if you don't finish. I ever ride love for which I've waited, never felt more alive. I ever ride east on 94 is the one who makes me thrive. The trip to see you was counted by the hours. It may be slow, but our love blooms as pretty as the flowers. It's come, I ever ride love for which I've waited, never felt more alive. I ever ride east on 94 is the one who makes me thrive. I knew I'd marry her from the second we bonded. Now all my past doesn't have me so haunted. I need her to be the one forever, and lucky she enjoys it when we are together. I ever ride love for which I've waited, never felt more alive. I ever ride east on 94 is the one who makes me thrive. I ever ride love for which I've waited, never felt more alive. I ever ride east on 94 is the one who makes me thrive. It's coming down, snow pains on the motor veins, keeps your business on the ground. It's coming down, slow day for the teacher, and her wheels are spinning now. On account of winter, Mrs. Braintree, all the roads are closed, and the streets and the stores are looted for vagabonds. It's coming down, go home, snow days on the chain 'cause there's a blessing on the ground. It's coming down. If your lanes are crammed with children, there's a blessing in your town. On a lucky Monday, Mrs. Braintree, all your lanes are wax and silver, and the stores are loot for vagabonds. It's coming down. Go home and take a snow day, Mrs. Braintree. Mrs. Braintree, you're a chilly northern woman. Go home from yonder bus stop, because there's a blessing on the ground. Mrs. Braintree, it is written, when the snow falls down in Dixie, all the roads are closed and the stores are loot for vagabonds. It's coming down. Snow lays on the chain field, there's a blessing on the ground. It's coming down. If your road's patrolled by children, there's a blessing in your town. On account of winter, Mrs. Braintree, all the roads are closed and the stores are loot for vagabonds. It's coming down. It's coming down. All right, and that was I Have Arrived and Snow Days by Trip Shakespeare. The second one was by Trip Shakespeare. The first one was by yours truly. So that concludes the Everything That Dies live stream. Part 2 was tonight, and I had a really, really fun time writing this album, even though it took a while. I made it a priority in October. Literally October 1st was when I wrote the first song, and I think I finished it on like the 7th or so of October, at least the first part of it. And so it was really fun. It was cool to revisit some songs from growing up, and then some new songs that I maybe hadn't heard, but that I wanted to be inspired by and all of that, and kind of take in the sounds of my home state musically. And so that was really, really fun, and cool to have the two themes, right, of kind of the darker album and then the lighter one, which was really cool. So yeah, to everyone who inspired this particular album, I appreciate you. So that's Tina Schlischke, that is The Replacements, Cloud Call. We had Drive By Truckers, or not, Drive By Truckers there. And that was that. And all that, or actually, I take that back. Not Drive By Truckers, Hold Steady. That's who sings that, and Craig Finn is from there. So that is that. I apologize. I said that was Drive By Truckers earlier. They were on my mind though, because I just found out Patterson Hood's dad was in Traffic, and for some reason I didn't know that. But yeah, so that was the Hold Steady, not Drive By Truckers. And I have not seen the Hold Steady, but they are on my list. It's been a while. That was Trampled by Turtles, who I have seen live, and that was that. Since I Don't Know, that was inspired by Bob Dylan and his song Mississippi, and Mason Jennings, Dear Daddies, and then last two, The Suburbs and Trip Shakespeare. So that's just scratching the surface of Minnesota music. 20 great artists there, and I appreciate all of you who tuned in for these past 2 weeks. We're going to keep on going with these live streams, and next week we're going to do one with my album, The Animal Years, which the title was taken from a Josh Ritter album of the same name, but I did something a little bit different to it, so we'll get to see that a week from today. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there, and love each other. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. I'm Minnesota Mike. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much.